friends, this is Eric Rutan, the Hallmark movie reviewer. Let's talk some Christmas in July. As we all know, we had a really strong June with Hidden Gems, Caribbean Summer, and 2 Tickets to Paradise. Fantastic movie to end the month. So really excited to be kicking off July with the new Christmas movies that were coming out. First one up is My Grown Up Christmas List, starring Kevin McGarry and Kayla, Wallace. Now, as you guys probably most of you know, this is a real life couple. They starred in Feeling Butterflies earlier this year, which is a pretty cute movie. Okay, so the writers of this were Brian Freed. He's written one other Hallmark movie and a couple movies that have been up on Up TV, as well as Sean Riopel. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that name. He's had a little bit different than the romance genre with My Evil Twin, Stalked by a Prince, Ice Road Killer. So with credits like that, you may have a feeling what kind of screenplay we have coming down the road. Not saying it's evil, not saying there's some crazy twin out there killing anyone, but the romance one we'll have to check and see. So hold on, we'll get to that review in a moment. So what's this movie all about? Let's go through the plot and just give a quick rundown. You have Luke, who's played by Kevin McGarry, who's home for the holidays. He's dressed as Santa. He's a very thin Santa, very young looking Santa. And he runs into Taylor, who's played by Kayla Wallace, as we all know, real life couple. And they sort of hit it off. They have a little chat. Nothing too big. Kevin McGarry gives us some words of optimism because Taylor is feeling kind of down. It turns out it's the anniversary of when her mom passed away a few years ago. So he does a little bit of that. He obviously has got an interest. Then a year passes and they run into each other again at the hardware store where Kayla is helping out her grandfather. Luke is there picking up some lights for the Christmas tree for the veterans event that he's doing with his parents. So another chance encounter. They end up sort of having a little spark. Luke gets a little bold, asks her out. They end up going on a date. Sort of say, hey, I'm really interested in you, you're really interested in me. Finds out that Luke's in the army and he's about to ship off for another year, but they say, hey, let's give it a go. We're gonna try this long distance relationship. And then they have an early Hallmark kiss. You usually don't see kisses in Hallmark movies this early. They have a little Hallmark kiss. Off he goes for a year. Little montage where they're showing all their little video chats. Over the course of the year, they fall in love, and then Luke's supposed to come home. Lo and behold, big storm hits. Luke can't come home, so what to do? So they instead just have the video conference again. Luke proposes over video conference, big storm hits, and so can't really tell what's going on. Cut off, sort of sums up the relationship. Boom, get back on, propose. They decide they're going to get married, spend the next year video arranging this wedding again. Luke comes home a year later. 2 days into it, turns out there's an emergency back where Luke is stationed. He's got to leave. Oh no, the trauma, it's terrible. And that Taylor's like, nope, I'm gonna go get my man. And so she flies over to the army base over there in Eastern Europe, and lo and behold, they go get married and everything is wonderful. So that's what the movie is right there. All right, so what did I like about My Grown Up Christmas List? First, I have to say, Kayla Wallace, completely, utterly, totally adorable in this movie. Found her just could not be cuter. She had a good sense of comedic timing when given the opportunity. She really needs to be in more Hallmark movies. She was fantastic in this movie. Also, the wardrobe, it was by a woman, Annalisa Ferrara, who really deserves a nod. The outfits that Taylor, the character Taylor, was wearing throughout the entire movie, they had her dressed perfectly. There's like My Pen Pal. That was another movie that just sort of jumps out where the fashion in there just really was fantastic. And this was another one where she just nailed it with her style. So kudos to Annalisa. great job there. So I really liked pretty much a lot of the stuff that had to do with Kayla. The other thing is like I said, they're a real life couple, which doesn't, I guess, mean it has to work as far as the chemistry is concerned, but you could really see, like, when they look at each other, they love each other. You know, when they fall in love fairly quickly and everything like that, it's very plausible because they don't really have to act with all that, right? You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be that way with a real life couple. Sometimes you can be rigid and still, you know, a little awkward, but for them, no, they really nailed it. And like especially once again, I'm giving Kayla a lot of props in this movie because when she would see Luke, she just lit up, and so that was good. That's what we want to get from our Hallmark movies, right? We want to get that, like, little, go back to, you know, Feeling Butterflies, the other Kayla Wallace, Kevin McGarry movie, but, you know, that's kind of what we're wanting. We wanted those little love butterflies in our tummy and stuff like that, and you definitely got that with Kayla's character throughout this movie. So that was good. And then just as far as being a, you know, sort of a feel-good movie, I like what they were trying to do in the movie. You know, it was like, wow, we had this attraction. I think, you know, we may have something to be special, but I'm going overseas. You know what? Let's give it a go anyhow. And, you know, technology is 2022. Technology can really do a lot to get to know each other. You know, obviously it's nothing like the intimacy of being together, but hey, we're going to give it a go. So I really liked that theme throughout the movie and all that. So that was pretty good. All right. So now what didn't I like? The writing on it, it just, you know, especially coming out of June, which just had some really good movies coming, and you know, right on the heels of 2 Tickets to Paradise, which was just fantastically written. You know, the script on this one just wasn't quite up to that same level, and the movie as a whole, it was just kind of slow paced. You know, it was going really good, and then when they separated, it just seemed like that part just dragged, and it just, I think they could have spent that time, instead of you know, doing the little montage and stuff, they could have really sort of developed the relationship a little more. They stayed kind of superficial with it. It was like, oh hey, how are you doing? How you doing? And all of a sudden they're in love. I think they could have went deeper there and not try to deal with so much of some of the, you know, the forced conflicts, you know, the bad weather, oh no, our video feed ended and things like that. So I think they could have built that a little bit better. And the pacing, and like I say, of the movie, it just, there was some times where I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, and I'd pull out the phone and I'd do little words with friends or something, waiting for something to happen. And you know, not really what you want out of a movie. So, and then what else? Like, I know it's a Hallmark movie. I know it's not attempting to be the Hurt Locker or Platoon or, you know, any of these other realistic military movies, but it just seemed like they really should have paid attention a little bit more to the military aspect of it. You know, there's some pre-movie buzz out there about Kevin McGarry, his long hair, and he's supposed to be in the military and stuff like that. And, you know, it's like, okay, I get it. He's a Hallmark star. He's not going to go get a buzz cut for this, you know, for a Hallmark movie, which, you know, the, you know, turnaround of these movies and things like that. You know, so let it go, whatever. But it just, throughout the entire movie, it was just like they weren't even trying to have a semblance of, you know, a nod to really what military life is. One of the things that finally for me got it at the end, when they get married and he's in his uniform and he puts his medals on, they're at like a 45-degree angle on his chest. And, you know, that's just something that, you know, I don't know exactly what everything's supposed to be. I'm not in the military, but I know I've never seen anyone with their medals kind of like hanging on a 45-degree angle and stuff like that. So, you know, just square them up, little things like that. You know, the showing up in the base, yeah, you have to suspend belief and stuff like that and all that, because once again, it's a Hallmark movie, but, you know, showing up on base and I'm not quite sure what the whole thing was. They went to this like super dangerous place in somewhere northwestern or northeastern Europe. Like, I don't know if like Finland's that dangerous, or Sweden, like the Swedes are coming to get us, or whatever. So this seemed like a weird thing to make it seem so dramatic about this this military conflict there. Like, if they're going to be having it, it should have been further south, somewhere close to Ukraine or something like that, or something in the Middle East or something like that. I know now it's a Christmas movie and you want your snow and all of that, so you need to get it, but it just make it seem like it's this crazy maybe 1962 USSR, United States thing like that. That just it wasn't there. I know we're not getting along with Russia and all that, but like that, for whatever reason, it bothered me. I know it shouldn't, it just did. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's get to the review portion of this. So what do I think of the movie? I told you a little bit about what I liked, what I didn't like, so let's wrap it all up and figure out, is this a movie that you want to put on that DVR, you want to go out of your way to watch, and all that. That's what I'm here to help you with, deciding, what movies are worthwhile, what movies are snoozers, and, where you want to go. So, what do I think? I think that June was so strong for Hallmark. I just wish they had started out July better, kept that momentum going, that big wave going. The movie wasn't terrible. It was, it's a fine way to spend a Saturday night. It's kind of the movie where more, if you've got something going on, you sort of can do a couple things while you watch the movie. You're not going to miss anything, like I said, because of the pacing issues and stuff like that. Far different than last week when I was watching 2 Tickets to Paradise, and I told you I didn't want that movie to end. This one, I was just sort of plodding along, letting it go on and watching with about 75% of my attention. So that's not a great sign. But once again, it wasn't one where I was also like in the other room going to get drinks and not even bother pausing or anything like that. So, it wasn't terrible in that aspect. But, at the same time, it definitely was sort of on the downward slope of that wave after June coming in. So, and get back to what I like. Kayla Wallace was fantastic. She was just enjoyable to watch throughout the entire movie. Kevin McGarry was okay. I think it was kind of held back though. I don't know if it was a decision to, hey, we really want to let Kayla shine a little more, we can start getting her into more movies. Kevin McGarry clearly is one of the Hallmark elites these days, so he didn't really maybe need as much exposure that Kayla did, so they purposely held him back. But you go back earlier in the year and go to The Wedding Veil, go into Feeling Butterflies, he just had a charm, he had a sense of humor, the wit, is the whole package. And in this one, he was fine, which isn't bad, right? But he was held back. He could have been so much more. And so, in that aspect, didn't love that part of the character for him, whereas Kayla was fantastic. So it was a little uneven in that aspect. But all in all, like I say, they were a cute couple. I liked the storyline of what they were doing and all of that. So if we were just to look at it and say, hey, where is this movie? Going once again with the stars, going with the suns, going with the hearts, going with whatever we're using to rank our movies, I would, out of 5, give it 2.5. It was an average movie. Not terrible, not one of the ones where you just turn off or, like I say, go in the other room and do stuff. Not one of the ones where you're sitting on the couch just waiting, hoping it doesn't end. It was an okay movie. So, there we go. Alright, so that's my review for my grown-up Christmas list. Let's hope next weekend when we get to Christmas Summer Camp, I think that's what it's called, that one is back on that high trajectory and we have a great review to talk about then. So once again, Eric Rutan, the Hallmark Movie Reviewer, saying goodbye, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.